He Filipino though. Yo. Yeah. No, it's a Jackie Chan joint when he was with Detective Carter. That's literally the one he had when he was on Rush Hour.
I'm just saying, Chris Tucker had that. All the detectives.
Yeah, he too short to be Chris Tucker though.
No, I'm saying,
we can't give it to Chris Tucker. He's too short.
Kevin Hart had it. Ain't nobody shorter than him.
Kevin Hart had a holster like a baby. He was in the rap. Yeah. Joe Ingles out for the season with a torn ACL.
Wow, that's a big blow to you.
Big time. And I think, and we're going to end it with aging gracefully. So I had put this down earlier because I was listening to Nas' new albums, and I was like, man, he's looking good, right? And then I'm just looking at our GOATs and that, how Jay-Z, how Bun B, how Nas, how a lot of them Diddy, Scarface.
Got sick and still.
Yeah, and being solid. And then on the other side, you know, we love Capo, Jim Jones, but he's still looking a certain way, you know what I'm saying? It's like aging gracefully. Then you look at Tom Brady, then you look at Bron, right? And then you just look at a couple people across, you know, Roger Federer and different type of people. And now that you're at the pace to where you always like, I still want to be able to hoop at 50. And it's like, what does that look like? BTG Nation, what's up? Young OG here with the OG. And we got to say thank you. And we don't want to say thank you like some people say thank you by just giving some words. We want to show some action. So we had a gift from our friends over at Manscaped come through, and we want to share it with you guys. You know, Valentine's Day is around the corner. A lot of you guys have had a New Year's resolution to become more groomed, get your body right. So we're here to help. We got the Performance Package 4.0, which includes the Signature Lawnmower 4.0, now available here in the UAE. And for all of our listeners, you already know it's international. It goes everywhere. If you're in the US, the UK, Saudi, Pakistan, wherever you're listening from, now you can get it to you. And join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, including us. Yes, we have the product. Yes, we use it. And yes, we are not just saying this. We rock with Manscaped. So we have an exclusive offer just for you. Go to manscaped.com and use the code BTGNation for 20% off and free shipping. Not 10%, not 5%, 20% off and free shipping. BTG Nation. All right. OG, I know you've used Manscaped before, but let them know what that performance package is really like.
Actually, I was using Manscaped type products before Manscaped was around, but now I can do it the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to just figure it out on my own. The Performance Package 4.0 is here to help you ring in the new year with the right tools for the job. This lovely bundle is packaged with 7 goodies to keep you feeling fresh and confident in all of your dating endeavors in 2022. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the Signature Lawnmower 4.0. This electronic trimmer is designed to trim hair in all areas of your body. The advanced Skinscape technology is designed to reduce grooming accidents on those sensitive areas. It's also equipped with a 4,000 LED spotlight that's bright enough to shine a light to your true love this year.
Man, listen. And not just for the love, right? Of course, we do everything for the ladies, but man, fellas, you feel better. You feel lighter. You feel like you got extra.
Oh, let's keep it real. Let's keep it according to the way we talk. It keeps it being less funky.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And Manscaped got you covered there.
Yeah.
You know, the Manscaped has the performance package that also comes with the crop preserver, deodorant, and the crop reviver. Look, whatever you needed, they're going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Manscaped got you covered. So again, go to manscaped.com for our exclusive offer of 20% off and free shipping with the code BTG Nation right there. 20% off, free shipping. Manscaped, BTG Nation. See you. As always, keep it real, keep it simple, keep going.
King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. Ball is life, and that's a fact. And a baller's life, about that exact. King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. There's a time to score and a time to assist. Ain't no I in team, let the winning commence. From generation to generation, game don't stop. The new and old school got the game on lock. It's all legendary, it's all necessary. We all been all-stars before February. And after that, King and Yates, after racks. But really trying to get some wins, not just padding stats. Two basketball lovers through happenstance. Built the bond that led to greatness that advanced.
Listen, BTG Nation, what's up? What it do? We back in it. Episode 12? Episode 12, you know what that calls for. A nice one of these. Round of applause. You know, round of applause for a fire episode last week. So round of applause for our guest, Dr. A.H. Baker. Thank you for that. A round of applause for our new listeners. You know, on TikTok, we went up 150 new followers.
Oh, word.
Word.
Oh, okay.
Word.
Okay.
We're up like 75 new followers on Instagram. And we've broken the 100 subscriber mark on YouTube. Yeah, cash in the bank. So, you guys that came episode 1, those of you that came episode 10, season 2, we thank you all. From the beginning, you guys saw how much work we've put in, how it's come. And, you know, you can probably get a little bit of a sense of what we're going to do going forward. It's always going to be bigger. It's going to be better. And it's going to make sense.
We've definitely come a long way from my apartment.
Man, with the one Zoom recorder, and you know, you guys that are, I had somebody tell me that they were going back and binge watching after watching one clip.
Right.
And I was like, listen, just know we came a long way in 1 year. Because some of those other episodes are hard to listen to because audio is different. They may not see it the same because they don't listen to it as much as me. But man, we here.
Listen, I'll own up to it. That first few episodes, if it weren't for the podcast, I wouldn't have bought curtains for my living room. I'm like, yo, I only need curtains for my bedroom.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. We made it happen, but it's dope, man. It's also cool to finally have a team, you know, that's pretty consistent. So that allows us to do even more. So, you know, thank you. Last episode was heavy. It was heavy in all the right ways, though. You know, we got to talk food, culture, music, you know, politics to an extent.
Yeah, but more importantly, it was significant because you guys got the chance to talk about your personal preference and religion. Mm-hmm. And that's deep, man, that you could share that with everybody.
Word. Because there's so many people that are probably looking for some guidance within that, too. And it's also important because we're talking about bridging the gap to where, you know, you have your own views on all of those things, and we respectfully sat, listened to each other's opinion. We didn't force anything on Coach. Coach didn't have to feel like he defended anything. It was just like, oh, we cool. And inevitably we found out we all the same.
Right. Yeah, everybody's the same, just got different opinions on things.
Right. And it's all cool. Yeah. So, you know, that's love. I'm excited about what our future looks like. You know, I've had people talk about asking to come on, new people to ask to come on. One of my OGs from school, from like rec center type vibe, he did some things in the music industry and he wanted to get on. So
it's funny you mentioned that because I just finished talking to a friend of mine who has a clothing line and things like that. And, you know, they travel abroad and stuff. And so I told him, I said, send me your information. I'll talk to Coach Ryan. Mm-hmm. And what we'll do is we'll plug you some stuff in, you know, whenever we can. Yeah. And I said, send us some gear. We'll definitely put it on. You know
we here.
So I'm gonna be sending you some stuff soon. So yeah, everybody, you know, they see the work.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Look, we here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? We are y'all. Yeah, for sure. You know, we one and the same. So that's love. So we got some new things coming. But for anybody that's watching that thinks you're just going to come on the show just because you know one of us, that's not how that goes. It's not how that goes.
And I got some friends that's some pretty high political places. But hey, listen, man, you gotta.
Yeah, there's some things like there's a boundary that's like a foundation that got to be set. We got to know like some unspoken things we got to be able to understand. We got to know you ain't going to come in here and say some things you ain't supposed to be saying. When you got to add some value. So,
yeah, especially because if we get somebody in from the States, we got to call them in, right?
Right.
So I can't put my hands around your throat. So we can't, we can't control it. We can't.
But that's cool, though. If y'all got some stories on the OG, please feel free, because I would love to add that to the Rolodex. If anybody, main event, if you out there somewhere.
Come on, man. That's my guy. You gonna have me and my guy beefing, man. That's my man.
What's my man name? John Walsh, America's Most Wanted. That's the thing. I'm gonna have John and them come find you. We gonna figure out what's up, man. But for our people here in Dubai, for our first-time listeners here, Bridging the Gap, this is my OG 15-year relationship, all that good stuff, high school coach, mentor, like family. Now we're here in Dubai running a business, our day job, so to speak. And we like Martin, it's the night job for us on the radio, but our day job is using the game of basketball that brought us together and brought us to so many places in the world to, nurture the youth here. Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB, hoopmountain.ae is our website. This week is going to be fire. I'm excited for Illy and AK to come and see what the Hoop Star Shootout looks like. They weren't at the first one, but they get to see what the progression looks like now. And it's going to be dope. We got new kids. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Especially for the younger groups.
Oh, man. That is the craziest one there. So you guys, AK will be there to shoot some. So maybe next episode we'll be able to throw a few clips of the shootout into the podcast so you guys can see a little bit of what we do and how we are creating some new stuff. So stay tuned for that. And for all the moms and dads out there asking, we do have Hoop Mountain apparel coming soon. We're getting it slowly but surely. It's a different beast over here when it comes to making clothes.
Yeah, it ain't the same.
Not at all.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're working. We will not stop until we got it right. But how you feeling, OG, before we jump in?
I'm great, man. Like you just said, we got a big weekend coming up. We hoop tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I got some give back, coming my way. Some good energy. Yeah. You guys got that last game.
Yeah.
And you got us up out of there. I'll admit it. You got us up out of there. So I'm a little excited for tomorrow night.
But we must point out that last hoop session we had, because that one was mainly just us, a couple dads, and then a few of our hoop star kids.
Right.
That was some good energy.
Oh, no doubt. That was a good bump.
That's finally where we at, to where some of those kids are working harder, playing with a chip on their shoulder, and moving at a different pace.
Right. So
I was excited about that, because we both looked at each other and was like, I wasn't expecting to play this hard today.
Right. And the follow-up is, I check in with the parents afterwards, and every kid went home and talked about that, the bump. So that's what we want. What I'm saying? Whether they were on the winning side or the losing side, they were all excited about their performance in terms of playing hard.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
And that's how you build culture, man. And we'll talk more about that, because there's some things in there that we got to address. But let's get into some news, because we didn't talk sports much last week. And for all of you, that last episode was full of gems. So please go back, revisit it, sit with it. The OG, the triple OG, because he's older than both of us. He gave us a lot, right? He gave us a lot of gems. But football, right? This is February. So February is the NFL, is NFL's month to an extent, because it's Super Bowl time.
Yep.
Tom Brady, first and foremost, has retired. So,
but is it official, man?
He
ain't. That ain't like Tom to let something slip out on social media. This dude is professional, cares about the game, and he's always thinking about the next play.
Mm-hmm.
So
he wants to go out on his terms.
So Tom's gonna have a press conference and all that stuff.
Got to, right? Or did he? But by the time the episode come out, he might have already done it. So let's give our applause for what some people say is the GOAT of football. Man, Tom Brady. Right. What do you have to say? I would, as you mentioned, would have liked him to have his own press conference and go out on his way like an MJ or Embiid and all those type of things. But social media era, people want to be first to everything.
Yeah, that's where you gotta watch out who your friends are.
Right. And you being first, it takes away from the moment. Like you could have been a part of something way bigger if you just could have shut up and wait. But it is what it is. Any words for Tommy boy?
How can I just say brilliance, man? That's all I can say. Of course, there's always going to be people bringing him down in terms of like, there were a couple Super Bowls, they were just lucky, but people don't understand. If you are a champion, everything's got to fall into place most times. You got to be good at what you do. The other team's got to make mistakes. You got to be a little lucky, and then it's your time. So, I mean, that's part of being a champion.
Luck is definitely a part of that recipe.
For sure.
Right? What's dope about Tom is Tom doesn't have that Cam Newton, Michael Vick athleticism, body, physique.
He doesn't have the superstar pedigree coming into the pros.
His work.
Yep.
That's one of those things to where you can literally, if you're a football guy and you're like, I don't have the athleticism, but I have somebody to look toward because it was just work. It was just work. We all can do that.
Right.
We all can do that. It's a level of discipline you got to have. So shout out to Tom. We appreciate you. But to the headline, Bengals versus Rams in the Super Bowl.
It's crazy.
I haven't really watched football like I used to, but I am excited to see Odell in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, just because I feel like a guy like him was getting a bad rap early on in his career. And you know how he was in Cleveland.
And deservedly so at the beginning. But once he got to Cleveland, he kind of cleaned up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the wild guy he was early on, in New York. But in Cleveland, he took a lot of the bad press because they weren't playing well. But as we see, you got to throw the ball to the man.
And it makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. So I do like the fact that he's there. I want to see him win something. Now the Bengals. It's a lot within this matchup anyway to talk about, right? McVay getting back to another one with Matthew Stafford and that golf and, how that happened. And then Von Miller and Aaron Donald. There's a lot there. But the Bengals, have you ever witnessed a Bengals playoff run? I think this is the first time the Bengals been in the Super Bowl, right?
I'm not sure. What about the Icky Shuffle and them guys?
I don't even know the hell that is.
Oh, see, you don't even know when they, Icky Woods, man. Come on, man. So you gotta look at, the old heads that know what I'm talking about. But what makes the Bengals special right now is because Joe Burrow came into the league, got injured his first year. Mm-hmm. So technically, he's basically still a rookie almost. You know what I mean? And he's coming in with some leadership qualities that's a little unheard of for a young quarterback. He is a little older, but he got a little swag to him that it makes them dangerous.
He got a weapon too, right? What's the young bull on the wide receiver that he got there?
I know
Trace.
Yeah.
I don't want to get. I'm not a football guy, so I might have got it wrong.
Because you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I'm done with that, man. I'm done with that. But they got a weapon too. Now, what's dope about Joe is I look at Joe's swagger, right? And if you white, you can dance a little bit on beat. They love it. But Joe got his swag for sure, right? I look at it and I think this is what Cleveland thought Johnny Manziel was going to be. Right, somebody come with swagger, leadership, but still can, make sure you affect the game. But Joe Burrows is a whole nother thing. I look at him and I see his pull up to the game, his pregame walk in, the Cartier shades, and he got the, he quoting little baby lyrics and everything. And he got the furs and things that match. I'm looking at it like, is that Joe Hollywood? Is that Joe Naismath? Is that the Joe vibe?
It ain't Joe Namath.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
He's getting there, though.
Yeah.
And do you mean Johnny Manziel or Baker Mayfield?
No, Baker Mayfield, I didn't think he was going to be good. But you talk about Johnny Manziel when he came
Johnny Football, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Football, when he came into the persona, right? The persona. You know, Drake was mentioned throwing the things out on the song, like, that's the energy. I was never sold on Baker Mayfield. You know, I didn't think he brought the flair, right, or the leadership, but
I mean, he did have some moments, you know, like anytime you take the flag and go put it on another team's field and stuff like that.
Gangster.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're a little hood.
Yeah.
You're a little hood. So.
But who you got winning then?
Man, I got to go with the Rams, man. They just got
a lot going on.
They just got too many weapons, man. Because you got
Cup.
You got Cup on one side, Odell on one side. Somebody's got to be single covered.
Yeah. They're gonna throw that thing, and then you're gonna get pressure on the quarterback for sure with Donald and Von Miller. But I won't be watching. But I'm sure you'll give me an update. I know that for sure. The only thing I liked about the football was the Super Bowl parties when it came to it.
Well, you gotta you gotta see this one because the halftime show is gonna be crazy.
I see the halftime show on YouTube.
Come on, man.
That's a show. The halftime show gonna be nuts.
This would be a first time, man, with like an all black lineup and hip hop.
Eminem don't count, man.
He's hip hop though, man. Come on, man. Like I know what you're saying, but listen,
I know. Eminem's hip.
The greats give Eminem love, so I got to give him love. You know what I'm saying?
He deserves it too.
Because his features are crazy. I'll never buy his album, but his features are crazy.
Make that point blank. All right, new coach, Josh McDaniels for the Raiders. Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy got passed over again, man.
Man.
Eric Bieniemy, man. Just
who is that?
Eric Bieniemy is, former Colorado running back. When Colorado made their runs, many years ago, and he's been the OC for Kansas City, man. Just like, I mean, his name's been thrown in there so many times the last 2 or 3 years. It's just crazy that he doesn't get these jobs, man. Just,
keep going with that. I'm looking for something.
Just Josh McDaniels. Here's a guy that had an opportunity before and admitted that he wasn't ready for the prime time coaching spot at that particular moment. Bounces around again, gets back to New England, and now
got caught cheating too, right?
Gets caught cheating, and so he gets another shot. But again, he gets caught cheating and had a failed first attempt as being a head coach, but he's going to the Raiders. The Raiders, they just want to win. They don't care about what your background is. They just want to win. But it's just, it says a lot about the politics in professional football. Just, to be a black coach and get an opportunity as a head coach, you just basically got to be perfect.
So it's funny you said that. I found something I think you're related to.
Said, you know what I have a problem with? To speak on what Mr. Dooley said, you know what I have a problem with? I have a problem with the John Thompsons and Tubby Smiths of society. I'm sick of them.
Why?
I'm sick of it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm sick of them. Is simply because there are a whole lot of white coaches who aren't successful. Blacks don't have to win the national championship to get an opportunity to coach. And I have that. You hear that in relation to education. You hear that in relation to professors. You ask, why don't you have more black professors? I will take a black if he's competent. Well, hell, there's a hell of a lot of whites failing. All we want is an opportunity to get out there and to try, and a right to fail also. And respectfully, I'm saying that to you. Not saying, I'm sick of us having to be perfect to get the job. I don't want to be perfect to get the job.
And that's the late, great John Thompson.
Yeah, for you guys don't know, you're in the DMV area, that's Big John.
Mm-hmm.
Big John, started as a high school coach, got an opportunity to coach Georgetown, and became one of the top college basketball coaches of all time. and he was always been an advocate for, equal opportunity for, coaches of all ethnicities and just, a leader in terms of college basketball, for everybody. And so he's, what he's saying is that,
it fits perfect to what you just brought up.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to be perfect.
Yeah.
You got to be perfect, man.
And what's unsettling about that now is like, there are plenty of examples of what a black coach can do.
Right.
If you get a chance across the board. Right. Yeah. Women's sports, men's sports, whatever.
And let's set the record straight. It's not just the opportunity in terms of getting the job. It's about having the right support system, because we all know there's like 3 coaches in the NBA right now that have head coaching jobs and they're set up for failure. Mm-hmm. They're just keeping the seat warm for when the opportunity comes with the right free agents or the right draft picks. They're going to pick somebody else. Mm-hmm. And those guys are just keeping the seat warm. So let's just say that. And, people can say like, well, why would you take the job? Well, if you've never been a head coach before, you got to put that on your resume.
Right. You got to go, because those opportunities don't come that often. Right. We don't have the luxury to say, I'll sit this one out.
Right.
Because if you do, then it may never come again.
Right.
But, the NFL will be the NFL. Right. Yeah. But let's get into, our expertise. NBA, All-Star starters were announced. I don't think the reserves have been picked up yet, but All-Star starters were announced. We'll start with the East. KD, of course. Giannis. Joel Embiid, deserving. Trae Young. DeMar DeRozan. I don't have any argument with that 5 as starters. What about you?
No, I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's that's expected. KD with the most votes there, so he'll be the captain. Embiid having an MVP type year. Giannis doing the same, and then DeMar having an MVP type year, and Trae spectacular.
But KD won't play, right? Who's gonna take his spot?
No, he won't play. I'm not sure, but he'll pick. He'll still pick the squad, but I'm not sure he'll take his spot. And then the West Coast, the usual suspect. LeBron James, Steph Curry, first time NBA All-Star appearance and starter at the same time. Ja Morant, deserving all the way, Nikola Jokic and Andrew Wiggins. Now,
man, let me get out of here.
Wiggins as a starter.
Come on.
Now, immediately I see this. No, what's his name? Donovan Mitchell, and no Devin Booker. Okay. I don't know I guess because it's front court and Andrew Wiggins is technically a wing or forward that he's taking that space. But I don't see how Devin Booker is not.
I mean, you talk about, for the starters, it shouldn't even matter. It should be positionless.
Because basketball is positionless, right?
Yeah, it just depends on, who you are. I mean, what team you're on. There's Devin Booker, let's talk about him, man. He's been the most disrespected NBA player in the last 3 years. He basically, don't get me wrong, Chris Paul gets there, changes them tremendously. What's my man's name that's the general manager now?
James Jones.
Hell of a job. But D-Book has been the foundation of the Phoenix Suns the past few years. And he's been just completely disrespected.
They're 40-9 right now, King.
They just went to the finals.
Went to the finals.
So I'm just saying, like, he's supposed to be in this conversation for an NBA starter for the All-Star game. That's just bottom line. Donovan Mitchell, we've already talked about this before. You're in Utah, and your star can shine bright in Utah, but someone's got to push you. And if they're not, you got to remember that the ownership for the Utah Jazz, Larry Miller, he died, the older guy. Because remember, Malone and Stockton were always in all-star, conversation.
Well, you gotta be a special type of brother to stay in Salt Lake.
I ain't say that now. I didn't say you didn't have to be a special brother. I'm just saying that, Those guys always had recognition. So I put a lot of Mitchell's problems on Utah itself as an organization.
Yeah. They'll switch it around. I think D-Wade is a part of the ownership team now and some new family.
But he might have a voice like this.
Yeah.
We need him to have a voice like this because Mitchell should be in there, man.
Yeah. I mean, and he just had rumblings about him potentially wanting to go to New York now because he is a New York kid. And you don't have that. If you are doing what Donovan Mitchell is doing in Utah, if he's doing that in New York, it's a wrap. He's everywhere. He might be the leading vote getter or one of the leading vote getters there. So, but still, let's stay on that Devin Booker space because I don't think Devin Booker has had issues. It was a reserve 1 year because somebody got hurt and they plugged him in. They didn't want to. Coaches were hesitant with stuff like. I don't know what we got to do. I don't know if we need to rename the podcast the Devin Booker Fan Support Podcast or what, and maybe start a campaign. But one, I think people are missing out on artistically great basketball because he is a magician out there. He gets to it like no one else.
We should dedicate a whole episode to him.
We should, honestly,
because you talk about the artistic side of the basketball game. You know, his mid-range game is crazy.
Man.
And that's a lost art form in today's game.
Yeah, he'll be able to play 20 years, right? On some LeBron stuff because of the way he scores. It's not predicated on athleticism. It's footwork, it's angles, it's timing, and he has touch and he shoots well. He's 6'6". Like the way Book gets it done, he'll be able to sit there in Phoenix. And now that Chris Paul has come there and they've created a culture, when Chris Paul retires, somebody will want to go join Book.
Right.
You know, Arizona probably got one of the most favorable tax places too. Ooh. John Wall got to go somewhere, right? But we don't know where. But, you know, that's interesting. So we got to cut that out. You know, I'm going to go buy my, I'm adding Devin Booker to my jersey list. Of course, y'all know I'm going to get a Ja jersey. A Devin Booker too. I need the black one that Thunder Dan used to wear. Right? The black one with the horizon over. I need that one.
Thunder Dan.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Devin Booker because we know, the real ones know. All right. Somebody, I'll leave that question for last. Lakers are Lakering. We are Lakering. I don't have anything to say. I mean, LeBron is out a little bit longer than expected. We just lost to the Hawks. I think we're sitting in like 9th, 10th place. I am not changing my stance. I still feel like we can win it all. I still feel that way. I still feel like amongst everything we can win it all. I think what's interesting is this is a new challenge for LeBron, right? This is what keeps somebody like him interested and engaged after being in the league 20 years and going to 150 different finals. A new challenge like this is completely different. Like, if he can win a ring after a season like this, that changes his whole story and morale, period.
But you know the goalposts will move anyway, man. If they were to win it, they'll say, they're supposed to win. They got Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to say, man. You know that.
Yeah, I'll let you have that, though. Everybody probably tired of hearing my Laker takes.
Lakers, man. It's all on AD and Frank Vogel. That's just how it is. You know, people talk about Vogel. Should he be fired? Should he be left alone? Well, you have to pick your argument for him. If he's a defensive-minded coach, why isn't their defense better? So that's one issue. Second issue is people are saying his rotations are a little off sometimes, or not maybe off, but like they can't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not supposed to be in the mind of a head coach, but when other former head coaches or current head coaches may make comments on it, then it's we can talk about it. And so it doesn't seem like the team is comfortable in their roles because it's like you don't know what to expect. Malik Monk will start sometimes. He come off the bench sometimes. And then sometimes he'll come off the bench, he'll play a certain amount of minutes. The next minute, he'll play either more or less minutes. So it's like, it's a little confusing. And you talk about AD. Is AD going to come in? It's great. He has 30 and 12. Okay, but they still lose. So that means your 30 and 12 aren't as impactful as they should be based on the type of player that you are. Because AD should be controlling the game from all aspects. And they should be able to lean on him when LeBron isn't there. Because everybody's giving Westbrook hell. Westbrook has been playing okay. He's attacking the basket the way what he's supposed to do. That's what we know him to do, and that's what he's been doing. So, he may have 4 turnovers, but you got 12 assists, you're okay.
And he made the comment, I'm just trying to figure out what my role is.
Right.
That's one thing, too, that, like, if you're just a casual fan, you don't know how frustrating or how hard it may be to find a rhythm if you don't know where you fit in the offense, right? Like, where is it? All right, this is where I can attack from, and this is where I make, a dish off, and this is my gaps, my opportunities to go do my thing. If you don't have that understanding and you're out there trying to figure it out, it looks like you just forcing it or whatever, but he's out of rhythm.
And you think about their issue in terms of figuring out the rotation has really come when Jason Kidd left. Because he's not behind the scenes manipulating the ideas that Frank Vogel has for the team. Because if you think about it, they go into a game and a guy that's an alpha like Westbrook doesn't know what his role is. He only knows one speed. That's as fast as I can, as hard as I can. That's just in my DNA. So we don't know. We all speculate that they've had this conversation, but has the general manager, has the head coach, coaching staff, have they had this conversation with him and said, this is what we need you to do for us to win? We don't know that.
Yeah. And
by his statement in that presser, we don't know. So we can speculate on that.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I mean, my stance is still the same. I'm AD.
Yeah, listen, if AD is coming in and balling, none of it, we wouldn't even be talking about this stuff. We'd be talking about how Westbrook has revitalized his career.
Right. When I look at AD, it's always the same. Now I'm looking at AD crazy because I look at Giannis, I look at Embiid, and I look at Joker. Right? Because those are his peers and his position and everything. He doesn't impact the game like any of them. And his numbers, and this is what we talk about now, you're really understanding basketball, right? He's going to get numbers. Cool. Well, when Giannis is on the court, the whole game changes defensively and offensively, and his presence is felt, He's much stronger, he's much more aggressive, and he's much more of like a bronze guy, right? He's going to come out there hitting and pushing. But, 3 years ago, the talk was AD is head and shoulders above Giannis, right? Now we're looking at it like, it's not even close. It's not even in the same league. Joker, the same thing. Joker doesn't have anywhere near the athleticism as any of those other 3 guys, right? But the entire offense runs through him, and he got better defensively on top of that, right? MVP, all 3 of them MVP guys.
Joker is deliberate at what he's trying to do. So when you see him play, whether he's successful or not, you can see what he's trying to do. With AD, sometimes he's just floating. Like you should never go down 4 or 5 transitions and we don't see you have an impact on the game.
At all. And like, you can think Joker's won his MVP already, right? Giannis has won multiple MVPs. This year is Embiid's MVP race to win unless Ja comes in with some more crazy stuff, right? But those years, you can see that level of dominance for bigs. That is back to the front court now, having that level of dominance. And I've always said that when people were like, AD has this potential, that potential, man, where? right? We don't see it or feel it.
He has it. We just need to see it. That's all.
It gotta come. It gotta come together. So, same old story, right? We'll keep it going there, but we know how that is. I'm still Lake Show and 6 against whoever in the finals. That's for sure. Anthony Edwards, that's one of my favorite young guys there. He said in an interview he wants to be face of the league and have a couple MVPs in 5 years. I'm with it. I think he can. I just think he can't. I don't think he can do it in Minnesota, and not because of him, but just because of the organization. Like, I don't look at it like I look at Memphis, to where Memphis traded Mike Conley and gave Ja the keys, and not only gave him the keys, but put pieces around him from coaching staff on down. Minnesota, man, I don't know.
Man, they've been a train wreck for about the past 15 years, man.
They need to find a way to get KG in the front office and start playing. It's the only way they can revive.
Well, I don't know about that, because we've seen, former greats come in and run teams. So we don't know, but we just know they need to make a change.
Yeah.
They need to make an effort. Otherwise, Anthony Edwards, because he wants to be great, he's one of those guys that you could see turning down the extra $40 million to go somewhere else.
Yeah, because he want to win.
He wants to win.
That's real. A. Edwards. And wherever you go next, Anthony Edwards, I'm going to buy the jersey. But not until you leave Minnesota, though. I can't throw on. Only Timberwolves jersey I can wear is the old school KG or the Latrell Sprewell.
You can go to the Wizards.
Oh, it's funny that you said that. The Wizards making headlines. A couple weeks ago, we weren't recording. There was a locker room fight between Montrezl Harrell and KCP, right? And then a little bit later you hear about Montrezl Harrell been on the trading block. Yeah, they
man, KCP better be careful, man. He still got the thing on his.
Nah, he in the city now. He good.
Okay.
Yeah, but and now it's said that the Wizards teammates have made a statement saying they don't want Dinwiddie. He's a shell of himself. He's not good. We don't want him around. So now the Wizards are apparently putting him on the trade block. I heard some rumblings that he was trying to hold some people accountable and show some signs of leadership in the locker room. And this may be a response to that.
That's funny because, one, Dinwiddie's known around the NBA for being a professional. 2, we've seen his game when he's healthy. 3, these so-called sources are coming from the Wizards organization, whether it be their players or members of the organization themselves. That's not good, because I'll trust Dinwiddie before I trust the Wizards organization and the Wizards players. And let's face it, man. How can you have a problem with Wilt Chamberlain's son? That's Wilt Chamberlain's son, man. Come on.
Yo, Dinwiddie does have a wild goatee.
Come on, man.
In the Ush.
He looks just like Wilt.
Yeah, him and Otto.
Come on, man.
Him and Otto, definitely. And Wilt got through. Wilt got through some. He did some things.
Yeah, for sure.
But that type of comment slipping out from the Wizards organization is why KD didn't even think about going back home. Is why big agents don't come back, right? And you see now too, I think Bill is kind of seeing himself that, man, I should dip.
What'd I say?
Yeah. This type of stuff you don't want to be around, man. And then, the Wizards fans are ungrateful because so many of them talking about how, John Wall wasn't this, it wasn't that, and he won't be helpful. I put a poll up to see if, when they were talking about trade talks and John Wall going to the Lakers maybe, and people saying John Wall is just the same player as Russell Westbrook. I was like, maybe you guys are getting confused because he's fast and jumps high too. But John Wall is one of those few true point guards, and he plays both ends of the court.
Yeah. But, these are the same fans that were complaining about Randy Whitman as the head coach for the Washington Wizards when Randy Whitman had the lowest salary for the head coaches in the NBA and had the Wizards going the furthest they've ever been in the playoffs recently. And he was holding people accountable, making them play defense. And they were a threat until John Wall got hurt, like the second game of the playoffs. Wanted him out of there. Got Scott Brooks, paid him $7 million a year. And then we're wondering why we can't get out, why we can't get into the playoffs or get out of the first round of playoffs. You don't know what you want.
Man.
You don't know what you have when it's there. And that's how John Wall was. If you know John Wall coming out of Kentucky, he was a pass-first, defensive-minded point guard. If you know Russell Westbrook coming out of UCLA, he was a two-guard, energetic, 100 miles per hour, plays hard as hell every night, and get to the basket. Two different type of players.
Man. But that just lets us know where you at.
But again, if KD won't even give you guys a meeting, that tells you right there.
Enough, right? So last two things on the NBA. Joe Ingles, torn ACL, out for the season. Now, they do have a few new pieces out over there. I believe Jeff Green and Rudy Gay. I may be wrong on that. Let me look at the Utah thing. But without Joe Ingles, and he missed some significant time maybe 2 years ago in the bubble, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And that was tough for them.
Right.
So right now, going into the second half of the season, a torn ACL, like, what do you see happening with this squad now?
Everybody's going to be overextending themselves trying to make up for the loss of Ingles. And, being in the West, there's a little room for error. So we're going to see them, struggle a little bit. Yeah. And then the question is, are they going to panic?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They still have Royce O'Neal with a solid wing. Rudy Gay was the one, not Jeff Green, who got added on. Eric Pascal and Bogdanovich, the other Bogut. So they got some pieces still.
Yeah,
right.
But
and Jordan Clarkson, of course.
It's just a little different when your roles change.
Yeah, and the expectations as you guys are winning. So I wish you a speedy recovery, though, big dog.
For sure.
So this last question regarding the NBA. Somebody, young Luka that we call Mark, baby Spain. He sent, I think it was a meme or something. They were like, for the next 10 years, who are you choosing between Ja, LaMelo, and Trae? I went ahead and added Luka to that. Between Ja, Luka, LaMelo, and Trae, who are you choosing? Right, you're starting a franchise, right? That's the context.
I say we take Luka out because he's had more
pro stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a little different.
Yeah,
Luka's been a pro since like 13, man.
Facts. He do look like it too. Ja, LaMelo, or Trae, who are you taking for the next 10 years? Yeah, I know the listeners who've been here know who I'm taking.
And we don't have any context to like. What
franchise? You're starting a franchise.
We're just starting a franchise. Mm-hmm. I'm probably taking LaMelo.
Yeah.
I'm taking LaMelo just because, let me break it down. For me, Trae's the better shooter.
Yeah.
Of course, so that gives you more spacing, gives you more time. Ja is more athletic. There's nothing you can do to counter that. You know what I'm saying? Between those two, they both have good IQ and know how to make plays for other people. But in the same sense, I look at LaMelo. He also has that same IQ where he can make other players better and make it easier for them to get buckets. His outside shooting is improving.
Mm-hmm.
He can get to the rack. He's not as athletic, but he's tall. He's bigger than them. And I always like big guards because being pressured or not, you can see over the top. Just certain little things that come into play as you start to get older in the game. And that's just where I'm going, man.
Yeah, it's hard to go against LaMelo because of his size.
Yeah, he's size.
It's hard.
But this is a tough three.
Yeah.
Tough three.
And you talk about LaMelo, he's 6'7", 6'8". He might still grow because he's young.
That's crazy,
right? And he got length and he's crafty. I like Ja. right? And you guys know I've been heavy on Ja, but the thing about Ja that separates him is attitude for me, right? It's kind of like that early 2000s guard era when the Stephon Marburys and Steve Franchise and AI and all those guys that grew up playing outside and a little rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? They coming in with a whole different energy and chip on their shoulder. When I look at Ja, I feel like when he walks into the organization, everybody there is going to carry his energy, right? Everybody's going to come on with the same type of attitude. So, skill-wise, I feel like you don't go wrong with either one of them. Like, none of them, you don't go wrong with either one of them. But I think that in the end, he would be a better leader on some Chris Paul type energy, right? I think he would be more of a joy for people to play with, right? And then I think his ceiling is crazy, just like the rest of them.
It's interesting you say that because the guys you mentioned from the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s that were really good, they didn't have that high level of performance for all of those years.
Mm-hmm.
So they tapered off a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was the only question I had about Ja.
Mm-hmm.
See, like LaMelo could actually slow down and become an old man and just be so tall and still be able to get by with some things.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But Ja could be kind of like Derrick Rose, where Derrick Rose changed his game completely. You know what I mean? Derrick Rose is not. Think about the kids watching Derrick Rose right now.
They don't know.
They have no idea what D Rose
MVP.
was.
He won an MVP in Bron's prime, and it was like, and he was clearly the MVP of the league. But that's why I like Ja though, because you can see him already. And this is his third year. His game slowing down. His 3-point percentage is better. I think he's at like 42. His mid range is better. He reads off the screen better already, right? Without that, so. Either way, the league's in great hands, right?
Yeah, point guard heavy for sure.
Yeah, and it's good hands right there. So I love it. But we gonna take this out, and we're going to end it with aging gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I noticed in our celebrities, our stars, our athletes, our artists, but also watch it with, my OG, between you, my uncle, shout out to Uncle Ro. And the way you age, right? There is an art to that too, right? Understanding that you got to leave what was 20-year-old, 30-year-old you behind and go into what is more fitting for you at 40, 50. And it's okay. You can do that without losing your sauce, right? And like prime examples of that, LeBron, right? Jay-Z, Tom Brady, Nas.
Man, let me say somebody that you and Willie Ways talked about last time, Snoop. Snoop is the same dude that he's been since 187. And so I gotta give him credit for that. Man.
And he hasn't like tried to do anything that we do.
Right.
He hasn't tried to wear the clothes that my folks wear. Like Snoop is just being Snoop. Right. He aged gracefully. We talk about Scarface, Denzel, actors, like a long list of those people just aging gracefully, and how important it is because. Last episode, Dr. Abdul Haq talked about embracing our elders and our history, right? But we don't ever think about what it's like to age. I turned 30 at the end of the month, King, right? And me and my boy, or my best friend, shout out to RJ, he just turned 30 2 weeks ago. My cousin, she turned 30 a week ago. There's a baby on the way. Shout out to Kira. And we used to think 30 was so old. Because we didn't, and
you had no idea.
Because we didn't see that many older people. But now that more of us are, getting older, seeing the next phase of life, let's talk about how it is to age gracefully.
Just accepting where you are and how far you've come, and understanding that it's not the end of the road. It's just a new chapter, just something different to embrace and being comfortable with it. Of course, everything that you guys have gone through or going to go through, I've already gone through in terms of the game of basketball. And there's times where you guys come on, coach, let's do this or whatever. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I know my limits. You know what I'm saying? Because I get joy from watching the younger guys go out and play and execute certain things. So I'm okay, man. It's just about being comfortable in yourself. And if you struggle with who you are every day, then you need to take a deep dive into what you consider to be happiness. And, I'm comfortable in my own skin. And so I thank God for that every day, because I don't feel like I need to go out and impress anybody.
Right. And that's a mindset shift too. Let's embrace the fact that we're getting older, right? I don't want to be younger. The things I didn't know, the things I didn't know back then that I know now that keep me calm and in space. So maybe you can push a message to that, because you have been able, as a blessing, to be able to grow older, right? And see things, experience things, and just talk about what you can look forward to as you accept and embrace the fact that getting older is not a bad thing.
No, not at all. You look forward to looking at the fruits of your labor. And everybody that you've come across in your lifetime, you get a chance to look back and evaluate the type of impact you've had on them. If those people that you've been around, whether you've been a mentor, coach, father figure, older brother, just somebody they can listen, they can talk to, and they can vent to you. If you've made a positive impact in their lives, then you've lived a great life.
Right.
So you should be proud of what you've done and where you've come, and look forward to where you're going to go. Because with the way things are now, we talked about an old Jay-Z song. What was it? 40's the new 30. What was it?
Yeah.
And so things have changed, man.
For sure.
Things have changed, So now you don't have to look at approaching 50, which I'm approaching 50, and thinking damn,
I'm in a cane.
This is it. Nah, man. Just everybody's path is different, but your path can still be a positive path and have meaning if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
You got to be positive, man.
Why do you think people are afraid to get older? What do you think?
Because, there were things that they didn't accomplish when they were younger, and they see it now as that, as a situation that they'll never be able to accomplish, but not realizing that there's new things to conquer. There's new things to accomplish. And that's just where it is. I look back now and there's 60, 70 things that I wish I would have done differently. But I can't worry about that now. I can only think about what's next. And so you call me, worry wart, just because I'm thinking about what's down the road, and I know where I want to be in a certain space and certain time. And that's it, man. Just, being comfortable who you are. You can't worry about who you were back in the past, because that's over with, man.
That's important. Yeah. Right? Because you might be that young star now, but that young star becomes that old hater.
Yep.
And then there's a new young star right there. There's a new center of attention. And that's just the way the game goes.
Right.
Right? But you can't place your value in that momentary feeling of oh, I'm the man at the top of this. There's always going to be something. That's a revolving door.
Always going to be a change of guard.
Always. And then I think sometimes, people go older and they're afraid of going older and being alone. Right. And then the other part is that they don't have anything that they're work. We work so much in the States. You talking about working all day, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day.
No. Let me cancel that right now. Everybody in the States, they do work too much because we have a different type of economy. We have a 12-month economy instead of a 10-month economy everybody else in the world. But let me get this straight. If you are afraid of growing old and being alone, that's your fault.
Oh, yeah. No.
Listen, man, because there's too much technology out there now to bring people closer together.
Yeah.
If this was 1985,
you understand?
That's different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cats now don't even know how to write letters. Cats don't know anybody's mailing address.
You still write your women letters?
Say what?
Let me come into there. You write somebody a letter man, you in a pen.
You know, I'm the postcard king.
Yes, that is.
You know what I mean? You know that. Like I'm gonna do that because one, I want people to know that I still think about them on occasion, and when people get something in the mail that they can hold and grasp, it picks up their day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have a lot of people, whether it be friends that I encountered in different countries, family members or whatever, that I want to just sometimes bring joy to them when they may be having just a regular dull day.
True.
And so, you know, anybody can send a text.
Yeah.
Anybody can send, FaceTime, or anybody can do that crap. But if you taking the time out of your day to at least write a postcard or send a card or a short letter, come on, that's meaningful. And people don't want to admit it, but they do care about those things a lot. But if you don't want to be alone, man, listen, man, you can get out there. You can meet somebody. You can be in Australia, meet somebody in Tanzania or Alaska, or whatever. Listen, man, there ain't no excuse nowadays. I'm sorry. That's just crazy.
Let me find out you writing haikus and sending them out, and you know what I'm saying.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, so what you talking about?
Yeah, you little poet. But no, I was saying the work part because. Some people start to look at as they get older, and work becomes identity for a lot of people because you work so much, and they're like, "Oh, what the hell I'm gonna do without it?" And now I'm just older, and I haven't had the time, or I didn't make the time to sit and think about where my time gonna go when I don't have to get up and work for this job anymore. And it's like the older I get, I don't have as much energy, too much time to do all those other different type things. And so I see that as being, I can understand how it becomes an issue.
Bump that. I'll figure out something to do.
Yeah, you will, right? But you can see, but that's interesting. But embrace growing older. You grow wiser. Experiences. Yeah. You start to get closer to what is most important, unless you're afraid of being older and then you're still holding on and trying to catch on to the trends. That's a dangerous game. That's hard to keep up with.
If your ass is over the age of 40 and you wearing skinny jeans and you trying to sag them at the same time, man, shame on your ass. But, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be cursed like that.
No,
I won't curse no more.
Tell me, New Year's resolution. Gone already.
I made a mistake. My bad.
Wait, look, let me holler at main event, man. But listen, while we here, so we can round it out, what are some of the things the people that are aging need to let go of so that they can age gracefully? Like, what's some things you need to point out to be like, look, your style needs to change, like the talk. Like,
all right, skinny. We already talked about skinny jeans, sagging your skinny jeans. If you 59, 60, and you live in a metropolitan area in the United States, man, what you need a sports car for? Come on, man. And and then if for a lot of people that I know are ex-players, with the ball players, basketball, football, whatever. And you in your 50s. And damn well you can't get in and out of a Corvette. You need an SUV. You need something comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? You coming out, you go into a little happy hour or something like that. Listen, man. Stop hiding your wedding ring. You know what I mean? Let's stop doing that. You know what I mean? Stop wearing the tight suits if that ain't you. You ain't comfortable.
Yeah, then European fit.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain things. You can still be in the mix without having to go over the top. You know what I'm saying? You can still be you. People will respect you for being you. And you know what I'm saying? And still gravitate towards you because in your own right, you're cool as a fan.
Man.
You just don't know it.
If you stay in your lane, right?
Yep.
I'm going to throw a couple of things out there and you let me know because I don't want to be misspeaking, right?
Okay.
Because I'm still in the midst of aging, but Beijing, right? You got to embrace where your hair is You got to embrace the journey that it took from when you was 20 to 40. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it sparingly, right? Don't go crazy with the fill-ins, the plug-ins on your hair, man, and your beard.
Well, if you're, Philadelphia area, they've been doing that for years. That and now we caught up to that's what y'all been doing. But if it's time to come home,
yeah.
And what I mean by time to come home is like if your hairline is here, you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to embrace your age. It's time to either going to be George Jefferson or come on home.
Listen. Make it smooth.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm
cool,
saying?
But don't try to, overdo it.
Yeah, you can't have a hairline like you 18 again.
Yeah,
that's too much.
Jet black, it was never that black.
Yeah.
It was never that black. You know what I'm saying? We get you dyed a little bit, but it won't like that.
Yeah, I cover up gray.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie about that because people know me like, dang, you had a gray goatee. Yeah, I did. But I don't go jet black. You know what I'm saying?
That look natural. It don't look like he took the Sharpie and colored it.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Give me something else, man.
All right, next thing. You can't be aging gracefully if all you have in your closet are sneakers.
Yeah, come on, man.
You got the basketball sneakers, the Jordans and all that. They have a moment in time and place, but you got to diversify your footwear.
That's from watching Fat Joe and them. They're entertainers. Fat Joe got buku money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Fat Joe gets paid to wear sneakers. We don't.
Right.
You got to have some sneakers, of course. I'm a coach, so I got to have sneakers also.
Yeah.
But you got to have some hard bottoms.
Yeah.
You got to have some loafers. You got to have
leisure, some in between.
Yeah, you got to have something you can get out in, man. Listen, you just got to think about as you get older, your prime time in life is after 5.
Come on.
Go after 5. So you got to have some stuff that's going to be great for the happy hour.
Right.
You know
and that means to coincide with that, you got to have a good jacket.
Yes.
Right. And a good jacket, it means several things. Right? That could be a good overcoat, could be a good sports coat, it could be a good trench. You gotta get into those things as you're getting older, right? Now you're walking out with pieces.
Right.
My uncle always say, you got a good piece there, young fella.
Right.
We're walking out with pieces. We're not just walking out with T-shirts.
Right.
We got to walk some pieces out there. And so that those things got to align with that too. Well, those just a couple things that I had that I was like, as you age gracefully, you got to get there. And you got to start, when it comes to like conversational things, right? The only time you leave the house, it can't only be to go and kick it with the fellas, right? You got to spend some time hiking like you're doing, right?
Oh, I was going to talk about that on my wrap up.
You know what I'm saying? Spend some time going in and looking at and taking in the air, right? Going to some museums, going to some good restaurants, going to some things during the day that you might not have looked at before. You know what I'm saying? Like go do experience some different things. It ain't we just going straight to the club at 11. Nah. And when you age gracefully, you want to be in bed by 11:30, 12, and you done already had a full day. And that's cool, right? So, but as you said, we into the post-game wrap-up episode. A little bit shorter today, but, short and sweet. We keep it going. So, what you got for them in the PG?
Well, first, you said short and sweet. I mean, it's hard to top what we did last episode.
Man,
that's tough.
You gotta let you digest that one.
I was gonna talk about R&R. People say rest and relaxation. I'm saying rest and recovery. Because like for ball players, you got to make sure you take care of your body and things like that. But right now, I'm not in that stage. I'm in, business owner. Part-time hooper when I can, getting my butt kicked most of the time, but I'm still trying to be active, get my cardio in. But
podcast host,
yeah, I'm co-host. You're the producer. I'm the lowly co-host. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to like get to a better space where I start not working so much and taking some time to relax and recover. Because it's not only about my body recovering physically, but my body recovering emotionally and mentally. I've seen myself go into midweek and I'm emotionally drained just because, I had a letdown in a meeting or something didn't come through for us in terms of the business. So, you got to take care of yourself, and Coach Ryan mentioned earlier about, the older guys getting out and doing something, something a little different than going out for the happy hours, the clubs, whatever, just expanding your horizon, you know what I mean? And trying to build yourself a little bit. And trust me, it's a different experience, but it'll definitely pick you up in those moments when you're lacking a little bit. Because I know for me, I do a pretty good job. What I thought of was, getting my rest and and recharging, but I got to do a better job.
Yeah.
Because with this COVID situation, we living in a different world, man. So I got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, and we going into the post game wrap up. Sometimes it's not always roses, right? Sometimes you take a loss, and post game you got to hold yourself accountable, right? And that's what I'm gonna take the post game wrap up for me this week. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I need to wake up earlier, right? I need to wake up earlier because we do hold so many hats. There are a bunch of things that we do, and I need time to myself. The only way I'm going to be able to keep time to myself when getting to my prayer on time, reading my book, just spending some time researching some things that I like to research without feeling like I'm rushed, is if I wake up earlier. And a lot of us have those things to where just that one simple thing can change everything. I can be more consistent with my workout schedule. I can get those books done on my list. I can just get a few more things done and even have more time to relax and not feel rushed. So in the post-game wrap-up, I'm taking it at like I just took an L, right? And I'm coming in and telling the team, my fault. I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to work on that going into this next phase as I turn 30 at the end of the month and everything, is waking up earlier and getting a head start on my day so I can, accomplish the things I want. So for everybody out there, thank you guys for your continued support. New things are coming. BTG Media Presents has new things rolling out. Hoop Mountain Dubai is continuing to grow. Hoop Mountains all over the world and GCC are coming. It's a beautiful thing to watch. As always, you guys know what it is. Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB on Instagram, hoopmountain.ae online. Be on the lookout for us. And as always,
Player and coach,
keep it simple, keep it real, and keep going.
Player and coach, the brother to brother. They both got views that you need to discover. From sports, current events to just life talk. Whether you on a fast break or a nice walk, gotta tune in. You already know, G. This BTG Nation and you one of the homies. Just tune in. You already know, G. BTG Nation, the other ones in the nosebleeds.